water runs in a rock, it deteriorates the rock, slowly it carries the mineral. So wherever you see some waterfalls slowly deplete, in hundreds or thousands of years, it will become a cave. How does caves are formed? It's a process. Whenever the water is flushing, it takes off all the rocks. That is how the soil is made. What is the depth of soil is? Generally, wherever you dig the soil, maximum 2 meter depth you can find. What is 2 meter depth? From the class, you can take the height of your projector. This project is 2 meter height. Some soils might be for a depth of 20 centimeter only. After soil, it might be medium stiff or stiff rocks. Above that, you will be only having rocks. But for weathering, these three types are there. Where you will be finding archaeological site. What are archaeological site is? Where you can find the bones of a human, precious things, where you can find in only soil. Can you find that in rock? Archaeological people cannot find anything in rock. So they slowly dig. They find the soil. There is any rock is found, they will stop the archaeological work. Sir, when they will start is, if they have soil, they start to do the work. If any rocks are found, they will not do the archaeological work. Why? Because rocks are formed due to natural process. Nothing below that you can find. If you are digging, your work is waste. You see, they will be having some brush, not by heavy hammers or diggers. So they will be having brush, slowly they will dig. So ecological and economic importance of soil. So today's class I will be discussing what is ecological importance of soil. First you should know ecology deals with only living organism. What is called environment? Environment consists of everything. It might be living and non-living is called environment. But ecology only speaks with living organisms. How does soil help living organism? Soil a living organism? No. But it is a host for all the ecological things. So this is the today's class. It supports the plant growth. Where you will be getting food? Food from agriculture. What is the base of agriculture? Is soil. Can you do agriculture in rock? Throughout the globe you have rock. Can you do that? No, you cannot do. You can do agriculture only in soil. So soil supports the plant growth. 95% of global foods are derived through agriculture only. Apart from agriculture, where we get food? We do agriculture only, we will have food. Another 5% is there. Sir, without agriculture, how we are getting food? Fisheries. What are the essential nutrients we get from soil? Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Okay. What is the second ecological importance is? It maintains biodiversity. Above the land, we have number of species. Inside the soil, I have told the soil depth will be only from your floor to the height of the projector. How many living species are there? World's 25% of living species are there in soil. How inside the soil there is a living species? This much of things are there. Bacteria, then pathogens. These are all the species who's the host for that soil. How this organic matter decomposes inside the soil? Who's doing the work? Bacteria is doing the work. Where we are getting petroleum? Through land, through soil. Who is converting that? These microbes are converting that. Sir, how many microbes are there? There is a complete food web in the soil. You have plants, below that you have roots. Who consumes these roots? Nematodes. Have you heard this name? This is an organism. Nematodes. It's an organism. It consumes the root of the plant. Sir, in certain places, the plant have everything. It has water, it has nutrition, even though the plant is not growing because of nematodes. This is a small living organism. Nematodes consume the roots. Sir, who consumes the nematodes is arthropods, higher living organism than this. So this consumes the arthropods. Further predators are there who takes care of this shredders, and finally birds. Sir, from where the birds have their food is, they always plug into the soil. Why? Because you have arthropods. The same way The roots are being intaken by the fungus. Fungus consumed by this arthropods. So again there is a food web. Finally, you have mammals here. Around 25% of earth biodiversity lives in soil. Teaspoon of soil, you see 100 crore of bacteria is there. Only a small teaspoon. If you take that, if you take a teaspoon of rock, you don't have this much. Now, this image gives you an understanding. Bacteria sizes 0.5 to 5 micrometer. This is very smallest thing. You see, from here smallest biodiversity starts to the largest one. Bacteria is the very smallest living organism. Above that you have protozoa. This is much larger than this. Can you see protozoa here? It will be like this. Typical size is 5 to 100 micrometer. This is their size. Above than that you have fungi. Fungi can be much larger. It can be 2 to 10 micrometer. Some types of fungus can be seen through our naked eye. These are called hyphae. They extend centimeters to meters. These are all called fungi. Nematodes. I have told no. This is much larger than fungus. Their sizes will be 0.2 to 2 mm long. It will be like a small earthworm. But it is not earthworm. Earthworm is long. It will be like this. So this consumes the roots. Next thing is insects. If you call insects, its size should be 1 mm to 50 mm of size. It is large. Earthworms are much larger. Sir, more than insects, much larger thing is earthworm. Their earthworm size is around 300 mm long. So you can see here, this much of living organisms are there only in soil. 25% of biodiversity is there in the soil. This is one of the importance. Next thing, carbon storage. Sir, what work does soil do? Soil stores the carbon. CO2 is emitted by the vehicle. It is going into atmosphere. That atmospheric carbon is consumed by soil. Carbon storage regulate climate temperature. 250,000 crore tons of carbon being stored in soil. Not only forest, not only the trees consumes the CO2, soil consumes more than trees. This is soil. 2,400 crore tons of carbon is being stored here. Atmosphere, you see, 829 crore tons only. More than atmosphere, soil is the place where you have higher amount of carbon. In vegetation, vegetation means what? Plants and trees. It carries only 650. Fossil fuel have 1940 crore tons of CO2. Then this is the understanding of that. Soil carries more amount of CO2. This is one of the ecological benefit. Next thing is water regulation. Sir, if you pour water in soil, it automatically purifies the water. Water acts as a regulator. It naturally filters by removing the pollutants. If you pour some water above the soil, it finally percolates here. You are getting groundwater, no? Groundwater will be pure. You cannot see suspended particles because it regulates all the matters, pollutants with the soil. If you have a good soil, it is a good regulator. Next thing, nutrition cycling. Sir, what are the nutrients recycled by the soil? Nitrogen. Is nitrogen available in atmosphere? Yes. Is nitrogen available in soil? Yes. Who transfers from atmosphere to soil? There is a cycle, no? There is carbon dioxide in soil. There is carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Who takes the CO2 from soil to atmosphere? Somebody should take and put it to atmosphere, no? Who is doing that? Humans. Humans, what we do? We take fossil fuel, we burn it, make it into CO2. We are sending it up. Who is dragging it down? Plants, forest. It is dragging the things to the bottom. You see here, Plants and animals drag this down. We human take this to up. CO2 cycle is there. This is being done by the soil. More number of microorganisms are there, and dead plants, the nitrogen will release, CO2 will release, and nutrition cycling is being done by the soil. Controls soil erosion. During a rainfall, the soil gets taken away. That is called soil erosion. So the soil erosion control is being done. Next thing, if there is a good soil and a degraded soil, a good soil can reduce soil erosion by 30 to 50%. And if you have a degraded soil, you cannot stop the soil erosion. This kind of soil will get runoff during any rainfall. Whereas this soil can hold water is one of the importance. Supports wildlife. What do you mean by that? Number of organisms, insects, reptiles and amphibians are being supported. Purifies water. Sir, how much purification is done in water? You see from this table. Mechanical filtering is being done by soil. What it can filter? Traps, sediment, debris. It is there in water. If you pour in soil, it will get filtered. What it will not filter? Sir, I have a soil. If I am putting oil in the soil and the water, the soil cannot split the oil and water. Do you understand? Sir, if soil itself is a good filter, then why we are bringing filter to our home? In our home we have water filter, no? Why we are buying water filter? Because the soil cannot split oil and water. That is a disadvantage. It cannot separate oils, fuel and liquid chemicals. What chemical separation they can do? They can do absorption and bonding. What it cannot do is, if nitrates are present in water, they cannot split nitrate. They can split limestone. Certain minerals only they can split, soils, but the nitrates it cannot split. That is how its chemical disadvantage is there. Biological advantage is bioremediation. It can remove bacteria. Certain bacteria soil itself can remove. Organic waste and pesticides. Soil microbes it can remove. But pollutions like plastics and heavy metals, the soil cannot remove. Soil can only remove certain amount of mechanical pollutions, microbiological pollutions only, but it cannot do complete thing. This you can understand, but half the work is being done by the soil. Maintains ecosystem sustainability. Now, second half of this class is economical importance. Sir, if I have a good soil, how much I can earn? If I have a degraded soil, how much I can earn? First thing is agricultural productivity. If I have a good soil, I will have high amount of productivity. India is developing 16 to 18% of gross domestic production, GDP. Who is the backbone of agriculture? Soil. So, this much of GDP is behind the soil. After finance and real estate sector, you see 18% are agriculture industry. This depends on soil. This is one of the economical importance. 45% of workforce throughout the world depends on the soil. Next thing, food security. Cereals, fruits, vegetables and pulses. More than 800 crore people depend on the soil. In India, you have 149 crore people. In globe, how much crore people are there? 809 crore people are there. Out of that, 800 crores of people depend on soil for their essential foods. Raw materials for industry. Sir, what are the raw materials we take from the soil? Bricks. What is the material used in bricks? By clay and red soil only bricks are made. So, brick industry depends on the soil. Pottery and clay. Where pots are made? From clay. It depends on the soil. Sand, gravel and limestone. Sir, how the cement is manufactured? Cement is manufactured by limestone. Where you get limestone? From the land, or through that you are getting. You have glass industry. Sir, how glasses are made? Silica. Silica is nothing but what? What is silica? Nothing but sand. How much places you are using glasses. Every vehicles, houses, industrial purpose, you can see glass and abrasives, chemicals, metallic thing, fertilizers are derived from the soil. Next thing, forest products. Sir, how much forest products we get? Bamboo, timber, medicinal plants, rubber, fruit, etc. Water resource and conservation. Sir, if we are having a good soil, how much of water we can save? 20 to 30% of less water is required if you have a good soil. Sir, if I am growing a wheat in an agricultural land, if the soil is good, how much of water is essential? 1300 to 1600 liter of water is required for 1 kg of wheat. If the soil is good, this much. If the soil is bad, unhealthy, it consumes more water. Where you get water? Through the bore. You have to bore more water. That means high cost. If a soil is good, you have less cost. If soil is not good or unhealthy, you need more water. Creates more financial difficulty. That is the reason. Water resource conservation, improve groundwater recharge if you have a good soil, and irrigation cost is reduced. Reduces agricultural cost if soil is being maintained, less fertilizer, few pesticides, etc. Carbon economy. From soil, it is being emitted by humans. The CO2 is intaken by the plants. CO2 is intaken by the trees. It goes to the storage. This process is called what? Called carbon sequestration. Carbon is going up and down. 200 to 500 crores of tons of CO2 is carbon sequestered by the soil alone. Now, you see this table here. If a soil is a healthy soil or unhealthy soil, how you can differentiate? If it has a carbon around less than 1.5 to 3%, then it is healthy soil. If it is having greater than 1 to 1.5, more carbon is there, then it is unhealthy soil. Next one, topsoil, 30 to 60 tons of carbon per hectare. It is a good soil. More carbon is there, it is a good soil. Less carbon is there, it is a unhealthy soil. Like that you can differentiate. Next thing is supports construction. Supports, bridges and constructions are being done by soil. You have gravel, sands, etc. are being derived from this. Last one, employment generation. As of 2021, how much of agricultural products are generated? 45% of employers in India are agricultural based. So this much of employers are dependent on soil directly. Then after this, construction. Sir, how constructions are made? What is the base of construction? What they need to construct? They need cement. Where they get cement? Through limestone. How they make bricks? Through soil. All soils are essentials for construction. So that is 12%. Mining, construction, brick manufacturing, etc. dependent on the soil.